Alrighty, it's a Sunday morning. I guess the last one in September. Maybe one more. I don't know. Maybe one more. Last one. Who cares? Anyway, thought I would jump out and do a quick ride. I mapped out another route using my RWGPS app, which identifies dirt roads. For the most part, pretty accurate. At least I know where I'm at now. We are in the town of Harrelson. And I'll cruise through here. I've been through here many times. This is some of the scenes of The Walking Dead, if you're a Walking Dead fan. They filmed, I want to say, a lot of season 2 and 3 down here. It's whenever the governor was prominent in this series, and this is where the shootout was that killed Merrill, Daryl's brother, when he turned into a zombie. So at least I know where I'm at. Just never been the back way to get here. All right, finally 15 miles in, I hit dirt. And I guess just depending on the routes and which way you go, is if it gives you turn by turn or not, because following this route clockwise, it's a big old gravel 57, it was giving me really good turn by turn, but so far on this one, no turn for turn. Oh man, I hate this gravel 57. It's riding on many boulders. And I'm aired down as much as I want to go, because I knew I was going to be slabbing a lot, and it's still squirrely. Sort of reminds me of the first stage of the BDR Abner when we did it in July. They had laid a lot of fresh rock. Now, granted, it was a smaller rock. It's not this big, thick rock. But they laid it about 2 inches thick. And it was like riding on ice. And I thought maybe I was the only one having issues because I'm on a heavy bike, the KLR. And everybody, even on the Beta and the smaller bikes, said they were ice skating all over the place. And speaking of BDRs, the BDR crew just released the Georgia Chattahoochee, I guess it's BDR-X is the official name of it, on September 19th. I've looked at the map, I've looked at the overlays with the Smoky Mountain 500, and it does share some routes with the 500, which also share routes with the Georgia Traverse, the Georgia Venture Trail, and the TAT. But there's only so many dirt roads in that area if you want to get a good mountain riding in, so inadvertently they're gonna naturally overlay. But looking at the route, it looks like a really good route. I believe it's about a 345, 350 mile loop, which is what's nice. That was our only complaint about the Mabder, was if you can't do the whole thing up and back, you're going to have to traverse back on something you've already rode, unless you want to slab it back. So that is the one nice thing. At least they made one big loop. A couple of folks have already popped up some videos, thankfully, on the Chattahoochee BDR. And I watched one guy last night. He had 2 short videos, one of the first day, second day. He didn't have the third day up yet. He was going counterclockwise, starting in LOJ to Suches, which is a short day. I'm wanting to say it's like 95 or 96 miles. It's not very far. That does share different portions with the 500. Old Bucktown Road, nothing Nimblewolf Gap where their plain grass is, but it does take some alternate roads that look pretty good. I mean, a little bit challenging on some of the stuff I've seen, but it's a short ride. He was riding solo on a small bike, I think a 300, and he said not even really running fast. You know, naturally you're going to probably take less breaks if you're by yourself, but he said it only really took about 4.5 hours from LJ to Suches, the route that he rode. So it's a relatively short day. So it may be like one of those things you can wake up and, if you're going to do it over 3 days, that is, have breakfast, take your time, ride, get there a little bit early, and Two Wheels of Suches Lodge isn't open, you know, jump on the bike and maybe ride down to Dahlonega for dinner or something like that. So the video of the routes looked pretty nice. He just said it was a very short day. I'm really interested in seeing video of the third leg, because looking at the map, all right, buddy, out of the way. Looking at the map, that's mostly, actually, I think it's all roads that I've never been on. So the third day will for sure be an adventure for when I do ride it, because that's going to be all virgin territory for me. So he's published the first 2 routes pretty quick. Hopefully today the third one will be up, and I want to research a little bit more, because I'm sure by now other people have started putting their route up and giving their opinions on it. But I'll look at it this way: it's another route that someone's already made. You can follow it, you can use part of it, you can make your own routes, whatever the case may be. But the more routes that are made public in the long run, the better for all of us. It's a pretty ride through here. Nice, well maintained county gravel roads. A lot of it is in the shade, which makes it nice. And it's just a way to get out on the bike. Promised my wife when I decided to get back into riding that I wasn't going to use it to cruise around town or anything else like that. It was just basically for what I'm doing now, and then getting on the BDR routes, the 500 and that kind of thing. Said we've side-by-sided an ATV road for years, still have my Razor 1000, a couple of other machines. And when I can't ride them, I'm loading up and hauling a couple of hours. It's nice to be able to get out and jump on the bike, and not the same thing, but still it's nice. Better than sitting at home. But I think I might try to run that dadgun loop first. Should have yet to get a tent. Still got to get a tent. I've got one, but it's too big for the bike. So I've got to buy like a backpacking tent. And I would like to try to do that one first, because I think what I'm going to do, we always go to North Florida for Thanksgiving to the farm, and I usually go a couple of days later than my wife. So what I may do is pick up the Georgia Adventure Trail from Milledgeville and ride it down to the farm, which is just across the state line on the Florida side. Now, I've drove the greater majority of that section in a truck. I did it last year, and a lot of it is just straight line roads that go between the farms and stuff. But thinking about just riding it on the bike, just to say, hey, I did it. But I definitely am going to have to probably break the ride into 2 days, because I'm wanting to say it's probably about a 260-mile ride if I don't. And that's just a long day to be on a motorcycle. That wears your ass out, literally. So I think I want to research a little bit. I know VMan1313, who created that route, has a bunch of the primitive sites marked and stuff on there. So that'll either be my first or hopefully maybe my second moto camping that I want to do. And that'll be a solo trip. my goal one of these days is to actually get out and ride the Tat. I really want to do it, but the being away from the family for that long is probably going to be a no-go. So the smart alternative, there's two actually. One is to take the 4Runner and take the family and the dogs with me. However, by the time that you take the motel stays, because my wife is a princess, she's not a camper. So by the time you add the gas, hotel stays, food, everything else, I know her reasoning. Why spend all of that money riding dirt roads when I can fly to Europe and take a river cruise for cheaper? I guess depending on what you want to do, she's got a point. But that's what I'd like to do. So the other alternative, I think, is by the time I do get to the Tat portion, I'm going to pretty much road everything from North Carolina probably to the Tennessee-Mississippi line. So I'm actually thinking about possibly in the future either trailering up to Mississippi and then starting to ride from there, or possibly even trailering all the way out to New Mexico and doing from New Mexico up to Oregon and then riding that back. Oh boy, I think I'm getting ready to get busted. I just made a left, I think, in front of my wife and daughter. So the old, I just pulled it out of the garage to start it up and run the battery hot engine tricks. Probably not going to work. And turned in behind me yet, but her 4Runner's pretty distinctive, so I think I'm busted. What's up, girl? Hey, what that was?
I'll teach you to record people.
Huh? I told you.